everybody, it's Jen here doing a quick share. I did quite a few Project Life layouts at a crop I was at a couple weekends ago and just wanted to show you where I am at. I'm not quite done 2016, but have January printed at least for 2017. If you noticed on my channel, I started a new job in December. I've been really busy. I haven't gotten any scrapbooking whatsoever done. So I honestly haven't figured out what my strategy is for this year or how I'm going to do things. I'm honestly thinking I might do the Project Life app and just do monthly spreads and one-offs and stuff like that, but I don't know. So anyways, I'm going to share what I have to this point with you right now, and then I'll update you when I know what's going on. So if you saw my last album share, the first half of 2016, this is the other half of the same week. I think I showed right at the end. So this is July the 4th to the 10th. I split this week in half because it worked well in that this page was all about one specific trip that my husband went on, and the other half of the week was sort of the rest of the family and, you know, the rest of the week, whereas this was the weekend that my husband went over for a hike. So yeah, so that's this one right here. I'm really keeping everything pretty simple this year. I'm trying to use up cards from, you know, mixing and matching from all different things. So you might notice like some of the cards are rounded, some of them are square. I'm not worrying about it. I'm not fussing with it. And then I'm just using embellishments that I sort of randomly am pulling from my stash. I have a great big thing that's right in front of me right here, and it's full of embellishments on a rack. They're all on these book rings, if you've ever seen any of my other sort of videos about how I organize my stuff. So they're sitting right there. I can really easily see them and grab them, and usually I sort of look at the photos and the colors and then kind of just start going from there, you know, pulling out things that match. So for this one, for example, just I won't go through it for every layout. I had this red here in this one particular photo, and then there was kind of, you know, blue here and blue here, you know, water, and so I just kind of went for there. So I kept it pretty neutral, some pops of red. One card here is got a little bit of blue in it and a couple little blue accents, and that's pretty much it. The other thing too that I use, I'll just grab it. I also have this for embellishments. This is actually just a super cheap little organizer I got at Michael's. I think it's actually for like jewelry bits, but it has all these dividers, and it has wood veneer, and I've got like labels and speech bubbles and flair and like the shaped paper clips and buttons and all that kind of stuff. So that's all in there. I'm thinking I'm going to sort that out a little bit more and actually put even more bits and pieces in here, maybe some of my smaller die cuts and stuff. Just it's nice having it all in one spot. Put that back. Okay, so this is July the 11th to the 17th. Pretty normal week. This is the 18th to the 24th. We had company, and so there's lots of photos in here, just me trying to tell the story of where we went with this company. We had bought some wine because we had company coming, and then they brought a whole bunch with them, some of it to drink at our house and some of it just, you know, to leave as gifts. So this picture, they did not drink all that. I don't actually drink much at all, and I don't really drink red wine after a bad red wine experience a couple years ago. So anyways, it was funny that we had all of that. This is a picture on the trail. Me and my husband are both in it. I have no idea how we got this photo. My husband must have handed his phone to our friend because the dad is missing. So I'm not sure how we got that photo, but we got it. Yeah, and I kept my embellishments really simple. Most of these photos, they don't have any writing on it. They don't have any embellishing added. I've just added a couple little bits and pieces in here. I think this collection is actually one of the Stampin' Up! New ones. And this is a screenshot from my phone because this is when Pokemon Go was really big. So I just literally, you know, you hold the two buttons and it takes a picture of your screen, and I added that in there. This is the next week. We still had them for another couple of days into this, and then we did some family stuff. Again, kept it really simple. I think this is the same collection. I just went with black and white, and I added some yellow. There was yellow on my son's shirt here and here and on one of these houseboats. and then there's sort of like a greeny color, but that could read sort of yellow. So that's just where I pulled it from. I don't really honestly think about it too much. I was like, oh, yellow might work. Ta-da. And then I just go through. So again, just telling the story of places that we went and some photos that we took, you know, random photo, my son giving me a hug and went for a hike, and my husband took a picture, and a flower that my husband took a picture of. This next week, we had more company, different company. It was also my son's birthday. So this is what I do usually now, is I try to do 8.5 by 11 photos, and I put them in just right where in the middle of the week. So I have this photo twice, and I knew that, but that's okay, because this is the layout about his birthday, where I wrote a little bit more. I didn't really write much here. I just put happy, 14, and then I've just written in here, and then there's like a selfie that we took on the table, and we went to the beach, and all 4 of the great big, almost teenage boys had their feet in my tub in my ensuite, washing their feet off when we got back. So I thought that was a funny picture. And then I had this big puzzle actually opens up, and you can see the back of it, and then it's talking about a trip that my husband's going to go on the next week, and I had given him pieces of this puzzle with clues on it. So I actually included the whole puzzle that I gave him. We put it back together, and then if you pull it out, you can actually open that up and see all the clues on the back. I should actually just show you instead of explaining it to you. There we go. So there's stuff up here, and then what I've done, I've just used washi tape on front and back. You won't be able to see that. And if you can see here, all these clues, I just use like labels. And so I wanted you to be able to see that, like somebody to be able to pull it out. So you'd have to want to read it, right? Like you have to pull it out and have a look at it. But yeah, it was pretty fun way of doing this trip that he didn't know where he was going. So I wanted to include that in here. And then again, keeping it really simple, I just add a little heart, and I took one of the stars from the same as this 14 that I had added onto here, and put it in, and there's not even very much writing or anything. I've just written on the cards what we did. This is the first week of August. This is when my husband went on his trip. There's going to be about 4 layouts in here from my husband's trip, and I just posted a video. I think I'm on top of my layout. I literally just threw this on my desk. I just posted a video for this a little while ago that I did, and there'll be 3 more layouts talking about his birthday trip. It was his 40th birthday, and he went on a big trip with his dad and his brother. They had gone on a big trip 2 years ago, and if you actually go back and look at that 2014 album share, you'll see a bunch of stuff about that big 40th birthday trip for his brother that they did. But my kids went to camp, so I actually took a picture of all their stuff packed up and sitting at the front door, and then I took a picture as I was coming to pick them up from camp. I don't have any other photos. It was a smaller camp. They didn't have photos that they took for us, like like that I could get on a CD or online or anything. So that's pretty much all I have. So we just talked about it a little bit. I took one photo of the clues that we did, and then the stuff that he got with it. Sometimes with the clues he was getting things to go on his trip, and then I just did lots of writing in here about it on this side about the kids, and then sort of explaining this. But then over here there's really not very many words, because there's going to be all these layouts that talk about their trip, and I just included some of the best photos in here, and then I've included photos that tell sort of the story. Like there's photos of one of their camps, and then one of his favorite photos when they're like he's actually in the kayak. It's a kayaking trip, and there's a photo that he took while he was sitting in the kayak and stuff like that. And then this one here he took of the place where they stayed the night before, and it was just a cool photo. So this is moving on into August. The end of this next week, we had rented a cabin with my husband's parents, and went with them. My kids actually went to their house for that week, but I don't have those pictures, so I'll probably include like a layout or 2 just talking, because they went to a bunch of stuff with their grandparents, but I just didn't have time to find those, and I was going to this crop, so I've dealt with this, and then I'll figure that piece out. Yeah, so picture of our cabin, walks that we went on, a view off our deck. I just do some very minor writing on here just with the location of places and then just some words about it. I was going to do separate layouts, and then I just decided, you know what, like this is good because I just want to get these things into my albums, and I don't have any time. So I thought it'd be better to just get her done than to be worrying about doing a bunch of separate layouts that I might never get to. This one is a 2-week spread, so it's the 22nd of August to September the 4th. It was, you know, we'd had so much company, done all the stuff. The last 2 weeks was, I just really didn't take a whole lot of photos. We were kind of tired, and, you know, we were doing back to school stuff, and, you know, one of my kids went to a gymnastics camp. Holy, totally couldn't. One of my kids got glasses for the first time. We did a big purge in our, their toy room, which is now the TV room, the games room. So I took a picture of that, you know, just going for walks and hanging out on our front porch and some of our favorite places. My husband is traveling again. So just, you know, everyday life. These ones I didn't do at the crop. I did these a while ago. Pretty sure that there is process videos for these ones. But this is the first week of school, so I always do a photo the last day of school, first day of school, and I like to compare them, see how, and they're like way taller now, even like in comparison to this. My oldest son is now 5'8.5", and he was probably like 5'5" in September. Like he's growing like insanely. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, he's grown like over 6 inches since this one was taken. It was my 40th birthday too. I unfortunately had a migraine that day, and with all that company and my husband's big trip, we just really didn't do anything. So maybe next year we'll do something. But yeah, so there's not a lot around my birthday, but that's okay. My husband took some pictures out of a plane. I was doing some decluttering and stuff. You know, the kids were off to school and I was at home alone again and working. And so I don't know, I just kind of felt like, you know, it was a new season with school, and so I wanted to capture that. You know, we went for coffee. My son got his glasses here, so the other picture he was trying them on here, he's got them now. Next week of September, just showing, I kind of finished up that area I was working on. Oh, just this disaster of a mess of one of my kids' rooms. My younger son rolled his ankle and ended up on crutches for a few days, like he badly sprained it. It was kind of cool at the end of September. Just did a big pot of soup, took a picture, and just my husband was away, took some pictures and walk on the beach, that kind of stuff. Next week, kids are at swimming lessons, and I was on the treadmill, and you can see the pool, so I took a picture. This is the place that we went last year for spring break, and they had a thing up about sharks, and that was the beach that we were there like all the time, so that was like scary. My husband took a nice photo when we went for a walk. He took a picture when he was away. We did painting in our suite before our new renter moved in, and so we took some photos of that. And talked about an issue with a broken blind that happened when our old renter was moving out, and it was kind of a kerfuffle. Kind of everybody had a cold apparently, and then just talking about our kids both have cell phones now, and I have location services on so I can see where they are, and so I again took a screenshot of my phone showing that and telling the story about it because that was pretty important to me. End of September into October, I was doing some scrapbooking. My husband took this photo of my son and made it his lock screen, and so he did the same thing I did. He took a screenshot of that because he liked it. Talking about cold weather, it's actually almost exactly the same temperature today that it was in September. We have not had a nice winter. I know 6 degrees Celsius, if you're no Celsius, is pretty good for February, but we've had a terrible winter in comparison to what we usually have, so we're ready for some nicer weather. Just took a picture of my kids in the TV room doing what they normally do. Our fridge died, so there's a photo of the dead fridge and us living out of a cooler, which really sucked. Went for a walk, and then just a photo of me chilling out after a lot of stress. This is all of October right here because yeah, I don't know, it rained every single day that month. No kidding. You can look it up. Every single day it rained. We didn't get outside very much. Kids are getting back into school, all that kind of stuff. I was getting prepared. I started trying to find work outside of the house. I was busy with that. So there wasn't a whole lot of photos, but I got the worst hair color ever, like ever. And then this was the first fix, so I took a photo of it. The fall colors out in our yard, the one day that we managed to get out, and we still got rained on. Thanksgiving in Canada is in October. My husband was away at a conference and took some photos, and then my kids got their school pictures back. So I just actually put their photos down and took a picture of their photos side by side and then printed that off. This doesn't look like it's done. It's not. Where did I get to? Oh, that's as far as I got. So I got to the end of October. You can see I started on this one. It's laid out. I mostly just have to do the writing and the title, and then I'll just show you. This is October 31st to November. This is all of October, but I ended up putting just this one photo, random photo of Halloween here, mostly because Halloween and it was on the Monday, and so it kind of just worked with how my photos were, and because my kids didn't go out this year, they didn't dress up, I apparently took no photos. Cool, I don't know. And we didn't even do pumpkins this year because we had like the plug-in ones. It was really sad. It was a busy, crazy kind of year. My husband travels a ton that month. I was working a bit, doing flu clinics and stuff, and yeah. So this is a photo I took of how tall my son is now. So I literally held my phone in front of my eyes and took the photo to show like this is where I look on him now. Instead of looking down on him, this is where I look on him. Got a puzzle to do, and we finished it off during the month. Our stove died. Yay, because remember my fridge just died? My stove died too. And then this is December. There's also, this is going to be the end of the album. So I was going to do separate layouts for the elf and stuff. It was really busy. I ended up going back to work as a nurse like I did for my flu clinics too, but like an actual nursing facility, and it was completely different from what I've ever done. So I didn't take anybody photos. Like I hit a point, and once I started doing that and doing like shifts, and I was studying in all of my spare time, that was the end of that. So yeah, there just wasn't a whole ton of photos. I don't feel bad about it though. Life is what it is. You do what you can do when you can do it, and nobody suffered from it. We still had Christmas. We still had presents. Yeah. My sister-in-law sent me a couple photos of my nieces, so I included those in here, even though we didn't get to see them. Photo from my son's concert. I went to a hockey game. I took a photo of myself on break at work, so I can tell about that story. And then I'll just use these photos from Christmas morning as one Project Life spread, so that'll be the end of 2016. And then I actually also have January printed out for 2017, and a couple of photos in here for some layouts. So I did this big size photo. I'm gonna have to cut it or I'm gonna do it this way on the 8.5 by 11. Haven't decided yet. But anyways, that is where I am at to date. When I get November and December done, I'll come back and share those as well, and there might be a process video for those when I get to them. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye now.